Yes guys, we are back and I'm excited to get this series started for the 2024 competition prep. We're going to be back with plenty of videos along the way and this is episode 1. So I guess the best way to get this series started is to announce the shows that I'll definitely be doing. As of today, I'm 12 weeks out from the WNBF Pro show in Dubai. After that, I am planning on doing a run of shows. Last year, competed in 2 shows. It felt a little bit underwhelming. I felt like I had a little bit more to give. So this year we are going for it. And that's exactly why I want to make sure I start documenting this now, because there is a lot of exciting times to come. So first up, Dubai. There is a pro show this year for WNBF in the UK, which is the first ever one. So I definitely want to be doing that. There is also a pro show in Germany again. I want to redeem myself there from last year. And then there will be, of course, the Worlds, which are in America, this time in Boston, which is a place that I've never been before. So I'll definitely be putting myself in there for that. So there's 4 countries ticked off already. I am waiting on announcements, but there may be shows in France and Spain as well. So I'll be doing those. That'll take us to 6 shows. And then also the way this prep's gone so far, I am 12 weeks out from Dubai, but I think I can get on stage before, which we'll go into more detail later. But if that is the case, then I'll step on stage in a show in the UK before, which will take us to at least 7 shows for the year. So yeah, it's going to be a busy one, but it's going to be a good one. One thing I do question each year is my why for prep, and what I've found is it's definitely changed over the years. This is my 5th year in a row competing, and I will admit it does take a lot out of you and it does require a lot of commitment. So that why has to be strong, and I definitely feel that to be the case this year, but definitely very different to previous years. Previously, I went through some tough patches in my life, which became very strong motivating factors in the gym. And I kind of feel like now my life's in a lot nicer place. I'm a lot happier in general. So I'm having to find new factors that motivate me. But one thing I am very aware of at this point is that I won't compete in bodybuilding forever. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing this year. And I really want to put everything into this prep and do as many shows as possible. And just really keep pushing to do more and more while I'm in it and be all in on what I'm doing. It has motivated me in the gym because I literally want to chase perfection in my physique this year and what I bring to the stage as well. So those motivating factors are very strong. Also, what I've come to realize is from these videos and speaking to people is that seeing my journey for some of you guys has been inspiring. I've found it a little bit overwhelming at times, but for example, I was at the WNBF UK First Timers show a couple of weeks ago, and the guys that came up to me and let me know that they watched these videos and how it's helped them, like I say, was a little bit overwhelming, but it's nice to know that my journey can help other people. And that's why I'm on this camera now talking to you guys, because there was a little part of me that was like, shall I do the YouTube? Like, shall I just be fully focused on prep and not have the distraction of the camera? But a big thing for me at this point in my competing career, let's say, is that I want to give back. And so if I can do that through these videos and share what I go through, and that can help other people, then that is something that is definitely a strong motivating factor for me. So here I am telling you guys exactly how I'm feeling, because I want to give back to everyone that takes the time to watch these videos and also inspire the next generation of people who are getting into competing. Ooh. My passion also lies in natural bodybuilding and what can be achieved naturally. Not only that, natural bodybuilding is growing so much, and especially the WNBF. Now, I've just gone through the shows that I'll be doing this year. As you can see, that is a little bit of a world tour, to be honest, at this point. And what I'm trying to show to you guys is this year is you do not have to go down that assisted route to live this bodybuilding lifestyle and live it to a level that is, one, very highly competitive, but two, to me, I feel like it's living the dream. Literally doing what I love and traveling the world at the same time and competing at a top level. That platform is there for you within the WNBF, and I'm going to show you that to you this year through the videos that I put out. Like I say, flying to Dubai, flying to America, doing a show here in the UK in front of my friends and family. I'm doing things that mean a lot to me, and I want you to see that you can do exactly the same, especially within the natural bodybuilding world. Okay, so I've already touched on the fact that I'll be chasing perfection in my physique this year. What I mean by that is that last year I was very happy with my look at the Worlds. If you watch the videos from Germany, you know I had a bit of a stomach disaster that like really affected me on stage and the look there. I'm doing a lot more shows this year. It's going to mean a bit of a different approach to this prep. But on an outcome level, what I'm aiming for is to look the best that I've ever looked. And I'm very, very confident at this point, especially with how things have started, that that is going to be the case this year. Especially with doing so many shows, there's a little bit more room for trial and error. So yeah, main thing that I can control is how my physique looks at the end of this prep. That is what I'm in control of. I'm not in control of judges' decisions. I'm not in control of who I come up against on stage. So what I've always become accustomed to is channeling in on what I can do, and if I can be proud of that outcome, then I can walk away from the prep happy almost. So that is the number one thing that I'm aiming for, to look the best I've ever looked. We're going to make that happen. So as much as I'm aiming to bring my best ever physique and knowing that's the one thing I'm in control of, I am motivated by winning. I've won titles before and I want more. I was very disappointed last year when I didn't win. This year I'm motivated by the thought of winning. So even though, like I say, it's not something I'm in control of, I know when I'm on them stairs at 5:30 in the morning and I'm looking for little bits of motivation, I'm visualizing winning. I've already started thinking about it. I've visualized being out in Dubai, come in first place, how that's going to feel to me, and then that lights a fire in me to keep pushing. When I'm in here and I'm doing heavy RDLs and I'm sticking 4 plates aside on the bar and I'm thinking of taking a UK pro title, or I'm thinking of winning a world title again, that really does fire me up, especially when I say this is not going to last forever. The time is right now and I am aiming to win shows this year. So I actually put a question box up on my Instagram story for people to give some input into this video and let me know what they wanted to see. And one of the things that I got asked is what I'm doing differently this year. I say this to people all the time, you don't need to reinvent the wheel with this stuff. The process of getting into shape is quite simple, of just getting into a calorie deficit, making sure you're retaining as much strength as possible in the gym. So in terms of the prep overall, there's not going to be too much difference to previous years. One thing I have done so far is implement morning cardio a lot sooner, fasted. My reason for this is probably more mental than physical. I've found by doing this first thing in the morning gives me a little bit of a win early in the day, rather than spending my day later on getting loads of steps in or increasing my output later in the day. So I've actually started that early and I've found it a lot better in terms of the fact I'm feeling good throughout the day, and then later in the day I can relax a lot more. So I have been getting up nice and early, 5 AM, getting my cardio done, just half an hour at this point, and it's set me up nicely for the day. Like I say, I'm on there, I'm visualizing winning, I'm visualizing everything I want to achieve this year, or even if I've got other things going on in my life, it gives me that little bit of time early in the morning to just have a little think, get my mind in the right place. So yeah, that's just the one thing I've done differently. Morning cardio, fasted, first thing, and I've noticed a physical result from that as well, with my body weight dropping, as it should do, being in a calorie deficit. So in terms of the competitions itself, I've already said how I'm going to be doing a lot more this year, and that will take a different approach in terms of how I get on stage. And that's from what I learned last year. So if you followed last year's series, you'll see that I was actually doing blood tests throughout the series to see where my natural testosterone levels were. And actually by the end of the prep, when I was literally inside out shredded, at my lowest, my testosterone levels were very low, below healthy range. Now what comes as a result of that can be, one, I was a lot more emotional, which I didn't like, and two, you then start to risk losing muscle. I don't want that to happen through this prep. So if my first show is September and my last show is November, realistically, I do not want to be at my peak condition in September when I've got a World Championships in November, because there's not enough time in there to recover, and I'd spend a lot of time in that low testosterone state and risk losing muscle and not being at my best come the Worlds. So I think the positive side of that is, or the right way to do that, is to come into them shows early, a little bit heavier and a little bit softer, but still lean and still looking in a good enough shape to be on stage, and then just subtly coming down to later in the year and then hitting peak condition for that World Championships in America. So yeah, first show of the year will be a bit of a fuller look, a little bit softer, still lean, still shredded, but not as shredded as I could be by the World Championships in November. So it's going to be a bit of a balancing act. It's going to be another learning experience. Even this far into competing, I'm still learning new things and also challenging myself in different ways. And that's what this run of shows is going to do. How I plan for that in terms of numbers is basically last year at the end of my prep, when I was at those low levels, the lowest my body weight went to was around 67.5 kilos, fully depleted. I don't think I need to be that light, and I could be a little bit fuller. I maybe pushed a little bit too hard. Only a minute difference, but something I can see myself. So this year my aim is to get on stage in the first show around 71 kilos, and then come down slowly as I need to. And then I reckon with the progress that I've made through the off season, I could be a little bit heavier, I don't know, like 68, 69 kilos by the end of it. Obviously this is something that I'll show along this series, how my body weight comes down. As of right now, I'm just above 73 kilos, and that's gonna be 12 weeks before wanting to be around that 70, 71 mark. So as you can tell, I haven't got that much to lose, which lends itself well to wanting to maintain performance in the gym, have more refeeds, all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to be rushing to get in shape. I always think doing things slow and steady is a lot better. I did have a very, very good off season. My heaviest I went to was around 78 kilos, and I've obviously pulled down from there to now be at 73. And I'm very happy how I'm looking now in comparison to last year. I do feel like improvements have been made, and I do feel like those improvements have definitely made me feel a lot more confident going into this prep. Which brings me on to my final point now. So again, on the box on the Instagram, someone asked me how's my mental state during prep. This is, again, something that's very different year to year, and I'm sure it will change throughout this prep. Life is always going to test us, and life is definitely going to test us when we're tired and we're putting our all into something day by day. But what I must say at this point is I feel the best I've ever felt going into a prep, and I think that is due to the previous years and everything that I've learned, not just physically with my training and how I approach prep that way, but also what I've dealt with mentally. I now feel in a position whereby I'm ready for anything. So the previous years, when I won the British titles, when I won my pro card, I had a lot of wins last year, took a couple of losses, and what I've learned from both is I'm ready for anything, I can deal with anything. So whether I win, whether I lose, I put my all into this and I'm confident that I can deal with the outcome. As a result of a solid off season, like I say, I'm feeling a lot more confident in the way that I look, and I am starting to visualize how successful I could make this season in terms of what I could achieve. So I just keep reminding myself of that. I remind myself that I've got an opportunity and I want to put my all into that opportunity, and then I believe that I'll always get the outcome that I need in my life overall, and I'll deal with it as it comes. I'll finish with a little point on that. So we're talking about mental health. So I think a good aim for anyone is to aim for resilience, and that is something you definitely need as a competitor, but in general in life as well. I feel a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that the number one goal should be to be happy, and you're never going to be happy all the time. So then the moment that something out of your control happens in your life and you're no longer feeling a level of happiness, you almost feel like you've failed and something's wrong, and it drags you right down. But if you ask yourself every day, am I being resilient? And your goal is resilience, then no matter what's thrown at you, you will then apply yourself to getting through it in the best way possible. So that's always my goal, to be resilient. And then as a result of that, you'll get a lot of moments of happiness along the way. So that being said, I'm definitely fired up for this prep. So let's do it, guys. 2024 prep. First stop, Dubai Pro, 22nd of September. I'm counting down. Count down with me. We're going around the world. We've got big things coming. Follow along. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let's fucking go.